Welcome back to another live with Design Bundles. We are so excited because this is a pretty big video. I know there's a lot of you guys that have a ton of questions. We've done this video in the past, and so I thought, let's go live with it. I don't think anybody in YouTube history has went live doing DIY screen print because it definitely is a risk. So this could go left or right. So you guys bear with me, but I definitely think it will be a really good learning tool for all of us to chat together and learn together how to do your very own DIY screen print. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so jumping right in, let's go ahead and start off with supplies. So while you guys are joining us, let us know where you guys are from and let me know how you guys are, if you guys have any New Year's resolutions or anything like that. So also, if you guys have any questions along the way, drop them down below because while we're cutting this out, I'll try to answer a few and then we'll do Q&A at the very end. We are also doing a giveaway today for this file and you can enter by hitting hashtag ducks in the comments for a chance to win. Now, in order to win, you have to be live watching this and we will announce the winner at the end. And it's super duper easy to get that prize. So let's go ahead and start. Like I said, we are going to dive in. And another thing is, it's a brand new year and it's a good time to sign up for the Plus membership. So we've been talking about that a lot recently, a lot of questions. The Plus membership is going to allow you to get way more bang for your buck. You're going to save a percentage on all your files. You're going to be able to have your Plus credits. You guys could craft along with a lot of these and save a ton of money. So make sure you guys definitely check that out as well. All right, so our supplies for today, we've got our t-shirt. I'm using a Bella canvas. Now, what's really cool about screen print compared to HTV is we can actually use hot cotton t-shirts as well, right? So HTV, I guess you can as well. I was thinking about screen print. It's not screen print, but sublimation, if you will. So we're using 100% cotton. I'm using the Speedball brand of ink. Now, I noticed before this video got started, we already had a few questions on the ink here. Lots of different brands on the market. You don't have to just use the Speedball brand of screen printing. There's other brands out there that have inks for t-shirts, and you can also all along the exact same way doing this. Now, I do plan on very soon showing you guys our icon art. That's a stencil that you can make using your printer and a light to burn it into the screen, where today we are using adhesive vinyl with a screen. So it's just a great DIY to get that screen print effect using a screen, adhesive vinyl, and ink. So I'm using Speedball white. I do believe we have all of these things linked below for you. I'm using a squeegee here. Now, a lot of times you can get a kit, which I believe we did link below, and it comes with a couple screens. It comes with a squeegee, and it may come with some inks as well. So it'll come with some supplies. So I've got a squeegee here. Now, a few of the things here to go along with our ink is I use my Cricut spatula here to just kind of get into that ink to place it on the screen as well. So maybe your Cricut spatula, or you can grab some smaller little squeegees, a spoon, plastic spoon, whatever you have on hand. I have adhesive vinyl. Today I'm using StarCraft. Let me grab it. And this is in permanent. You could use any color. Whatever color adhesive vinyl you have on hand will work. And it could be removable or it could be permanent. This is a permanent, which is going to give us a little bit more of a bond. But whatever color, whether you have pink, purple, if it's a color that you don't use very often and you purchased it, you don't know what to do with it, or you got it in those mystery boxes, those colors are perfect to do with your screen prints. So it doesn't matter the color. Now I'm using black today, which is going to be on this black t-shirt. So hopefully you guys can see it very good. So once again, I'm using StarCraft today, and this is their permanent. And then our last thing here, which is the most important, is our Speedball screen. So hopefully you guys can see everything, and I'm not whitewashing it too much. I turned my exposure up a little bit today to kind of help with that light. So hopefully you guys can see everything. So we have a Speedball screen today. You could definitely DIY these as well. And if that's something that you guys want to see is me DIY how to make your own screens or replace the screens in here, let us know down below and we'll definitely do that for you. Now, remember to use the hashtag ducks for a chance to win the file that I'm using today. And I think I've went over all of our supplies here. And before we actually jump over to our screen, let me just show you really quick. I'm going to show you guys how to measure out. So one of the things I could have, figure out your screen. How big is our screen first? So number one, the screen that I'm using today is 13 inches high by around, almost 10 inches wide. So what I need with my design, I'm going to need at least about an inch or so all the way around. So that way I'm not, going edge to edge. I like to leave around an inch or so. So I could kind of measure in here and say, well, I've got probably a good 11 by, 8 inches to work with. But what I did for my file, I kind of went in here to figure out my size. Once again, you guys know I love using these little tape measures here. Is kind of figure out what'll work on this t-shirt. I'm using a small, and I thought, 8 inches by, I think it gave me 8 by 10. We'll look at it here in a second inside of Cricut Design Space, but I think it was like 8 by 10. And I thought that'll be perfect for this because I want to make sure I give myself a little bit of lead line. Welcome, Joe. Thank you for joining us today. We are so excited that all of you guys are here from California. Make sure you guys are using that hashtag Ducks. Let's go ahead and do a screen share here so that way we can, I can show you guys Cricut Design Space. So let me go ahead and pull up my screen for you guys. So we're using this super duper cute file today. It is, I don't have ducks in a row. I have squirrels and they are everywhere. So we need to do a few things to this file here. Now, I can't see your guys' comments while I'm inside of Cricut Design Space, so I'll get back to you guys in a minute. But as you guys are joining us once again, we are doing a DIY screen print today. We're doing it live, and you can enter to win this file right here by using hashtag Ducks in the comments below. This is only 1+ credit, so if you guys are a Plus member, you guys can get this for 1+ credit. All right, so when I brought this file in here, I thought this would be a ton of fun. It has several layers here. I'm not doing multi-layers, which stay tuned because I am currently working on a DIY video for you guys to show you how to do multiple layers when it comes to screen print. So stay tuned. That video is coming very shortly. I'm working on that over the next few weeks, so you guys should see that in the next month or so. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and attach everything so that way it cuts all together and it's not going to try to separate on me. The next thing I want to do is size it out. So I've already sized mine to 8 inches and it gave me the 9.963. So I just went into that 8 inches right away and changed that. So this is good to go for me. You could definitely do this however big you want to. And then what we're going to do now, we're ready to send it over to our machine. Super duper easy to work with our file. We're going to hit make it. And we are going to, I'm not going to choose without because I'm not using Cricut's material, but you could definitely do that. So if you guys wanted to cut it without the mat, definitely feel free to do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and choose on the mat, done. And this is what I need to do. First off, I need to mirror it. I know we're going against everything I tell you not to do. We're going to mirror this because we're going to place it on the back side of our screen. So when it comes to adhesive vinyl, normally we do not mirror, but today we're going to mirror. So make sure you turn it on mirror. And then I don't want to leave it all the way over to the edge. I actually want to center this. Okay, so we want to come in here and I'm going to try to center this as best as possible. So it's going to give me a little bit of room on the top and side. So when I go to place this on my screen, I'm going to have a little bit of room to work with my ink. So I'm going to center this design. Definitely don't forget to do this and don't forget to mirror. So we're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And now we are going to choose what machine. So give us just a second here. So I'm going to choose Premium Vinyl Permanent Glossy. If you guys are new, you just got a Cricut for Christmas and you don't know how to find your materials, these are under my favorites. You may be under popular and it would pop up under popular. And if it don't, you could definitely just click browse all material and definitely search for whatever it is. So you could type in adhesive vinyl and all of those things. Now mine is on the front screen here. So I can just go ahead and click on that Premium Vinyl Permanent Glossy. So now we're ready to cut this out. So let's go ahead and switch our camera here. So I'm going to stop my screen share and cut. I'm going to go ahead and switch you guys over to my machine so we can load this up. All right, so here we go. So you guys can see here, I've already got this loaded on my mat. We're ready. So it's going to be face up. I know it's adhesive vinyl, so it's face up as normal, but it's mirrored. So we're going to load it in our machine. And at this point, our Cricut should take it back a little bit. And I may need to scoot this guy forward a little bit. I think it's going to bump the wall. So let me scoot it just a little bit more. Like so. Okay, so it's figured out how big this is, make sure it's the correct mat and all that. So now we're ready to hit go. So we're going to hit that go button. And now it's going to cut everything out for us. So I'm going to double check that everything's working before I just kind of leave this guy. So it's going to go ahead and cut everything out. So while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and switch you guys back up to my face so that way we can answer any sort of questions. So you guys can see that little guy back there cutting in the background. So if you have any questions so far, drop them down below so I can try to answer these for you guys. So I'm going to scoot this out of the way here. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. I bought all of the materials to do this, but I'm still unclear as if I should be using stencil vinyl or regular. So yeah, you could actually use stencil vinyl if you want to. I do highly recommend, and I prefer to use adhesive vinyl over stencil vinyl because stencil vinyl does not have as much adhesive as the permanent vinyl does. So when you actually go, I know it sounds scary to place that adhesive vinyl, even if it's permanent, on this screen. When you go to wash this guy off, get your hot water going, it'll come right off. It will literally just wash. It'll get wet and peel right off. There's no pulling anything. It will literally just start to peel right off. So I kind of rinse from the backside really good, kind of wetting that adhesive, and then I'll peel. So I do highly recommend using permanent or removable adhesive. Hey, Mr. Crafty Pants, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Have you done any DIY screen printing live? Let me know. Do you know if you can use chalk paint or on fabric? Is it permanent? There is actually a chalk paint per se. I do believe, I cannot think of the name of this company, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Chocateur, I think is what it is. They have a fabric paint too. So you may not want to get into their stencils, but maybe you want to get into purchasing their paint for these projects. So you can definitely use, they have metallics and golds and all of those fun things, but they have a huge line. So one thing I do recommend from them is definitely grabbing their inks and then DIY doing your own screens here. So super duper easy. And I definitely recommend over, say, for example, like icon art, you have to spend $100 and something to even get started. You've got to purchase the light and all those things. You got to store all that stuff. You have to print it. You can only print it so big. And then you have to burn it in there. You have to wash it out. There's a whole thing with that where you literally are just going to cut it out. We're going to put it on here. We're going to go through and you want to rinse it. Now, one of the tips I want to tell you really quick is you want to rinse this pretty quickly. Now today I'm taking a risk and I'm just going to pop it down here while we're working and I'll rinse it after the fact. There's cleaners for these screens, but you definitely want to rinse it ASAP. Is there any other questions? Let's see. So can you use the vinyl again? No, so the vinyl, it's not. So this is, when this is DIY, it's definitely, sometimes you can get away with maybe printing 5 t-shirts at the same time, but it's over with. So you can't just go rinse this out and it stick to it. It's over with. It's a one-time use, and that's kind of the DIY, which adhesive vinyl, you really get it for like 37 cents. So once you invest in your screen and you wash it properly, this is going to last you forever. So say, for example, I've got $10 or $15 in a screen, which came with a squeegee and all those things. I mean, you're just spending about 37 cents to make your t-shirts. All right, let's see. So let's see. When you're getting vinyl and weeding for text, do you put transfer tape first, especially for letters with loops? No, for this, actually, I'm going to show you guys in just a minute. So we want to reverse weed. So we're going to reverse out the pieces that we normally would keep. And then I put my transfer tape on and transfer it. And that's one of the reasons I would highly recommend to steer away for this project, to steer away from Cricut's Smart Vinyl. You could use their Cricut's vinyl, normal vinyl, but don't use their smart material because you have to use their transfer and it's going to take you a long time to try to transfer that. But you're going to see it's going to be pretty easy today with a Starcraft. All right, let's see here. Any suggestions what to do when we forget to mirror or forget to turn HTV onto shiny side when was using Cricut HTV and Caesar HTV? Let's see, with what's different instructions, and I forgot. Okay, so say for example, if I'm reading your question correctly, if you cut out your adhesive vinyl for something like this and you forgot to mirror, you could then place it on this side and go ahead and just quickly go through. It is a risk because you're risking to rub those off. Sometimes just trash it and let it go. If it's HTV, I'm going to tell you, sometimes it's a little bit tricky. If it's not too intricate, even though you've already cut it out, you can pop it back on there, depending on the design, cut it out again, but careful how you weed and place it. Because a lot of times that adhesive just bonds. Test that out on something small. Just, you have to be careful how you weed. And then, like I said, when it bonds back together, you can't even tell. All right, so we are done cutting. So let me go ahead and unload this for us really quickly. So hopefully you guys can see this. So we've got our deal here. So let's go ahead and cut our camera down here and let's get ready. Now I do know, I think I kind of went a little bit crazy on my exposure, but I think it's more on the screen stuff and not my t-shirt. So it may be a little washed out for you guys today. So also we're going to be using, another thing is for this t-shirt, grab your old Cricut pads. So before you throw these Cricut pads, Cricut mats, before you throw these out, which y'all are going to see in a minute, I actually will stick it in the t-shirt to help us screen print too. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. So your old Cricut pads are perfect for these projects as well. Would love to see the multi, definitely going to be getting into that. So stay tuned. So I'm actually going to flip this over and remove it. So the best thing to do if you're new to Cricut, flip your mat over and peel your mat off of your vinyl. It's going to help from rolling and all of that stuff. So I'm going to set these out of our way. Let's go ahead and get ready to weed this guy out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and scoot that out of our way and let's weed really quick. So while I'm weeding, I'll try to pop up and answer a few more questions. So if there's any other questions, let me know. And the 2 weeding tools I'm doing is the pin. I get a lot of questions. This is like a little needle. We get it from 143. I do believe Amazon has some too. So this, and then I like to use the Cricut brand. So those are the 2 I'm kind of working with today. Now remember, we're going to take out the opposite pieces we normally would keep. So I'm going to go ahead here and start to weed out these pieces. So hopefully you guys will start to see this design come to life. I thought this design was really cool. And if I lose anything, I'm going to get it back in there because I have a feeling since there's a lot of little pieces here that I'm going to have some trying to come up on me. I'll get that guy back down in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and start to weed these out. So you guys see that I'm weeding the opposite, the way that I normally would. So I'm going to go ahead and very carefully get this guy back down here, just like so. And this is one of those reasons why, like when we do screen printing, these little teensy pieces here seem to get lost sometimes. Once we start to process that screen print, and you can only usually get one or just a few. I have gotten, I think the most I've ever done, me and my sister-in-law did this. Okay, so when she started her construction business, you know, she put all of her money into the business. So instead of like trying to go hire somebody to do her t-shirts, the screen print, we did them. We DIY'd them, right? So I'm talking about like hundreds of t-shirts, and we got a ton of t-shirts off of one. We did her company logo. And then we just did them one at a time and set them aside. Because another thing you are going to need, and I forgot to mention at the beginning, is you're going to need your heat press. You're either going to need a home iron, you're going to need a Cricut Easy Press, or you're going to need a heat press. Because once we're done with this, you're going to want to let it either air dry or you're going to hover over it with the heat. And then you want to seal it 370 to 375 for around 10 to 12 seconds. So that's another thing I forgot to mention. All right, let's go ahead and try to keep on going. So give me just a minute, guys. This is going to take a second to weed everything out. But like I said, if y'all have any questions, I'll try to answer those and I'll keep talking while we're working. So let me think here. So I think we need to take out this big guy here. I love this design. I think it's super, super cute. Let me know, did anybody sign up for the Plus membership? You know, did you get it for Christmas? Is that something that maybe you gift yourself for Christmas? I want to know, are you loving the Plus membership? And have you guys tried out Designscape? That's something I'm going to really try to dive into this year. It's an amazing software. So if you guys are a Plus, I believe it's a gold member, you guys have access to a free software where you guys can, you know, take several of our designs, combine them together. It's kind of like an Inkscape and it's free. It's amazing. So highly recommend that y'all check that out. So we got some videos coming on that stuff too this year. And if there's anything that you guys want to see as well, some projects y'all want to see, definitely drop them down below. Do you want to see more paper crafts? You know, what do you guys want to see? We've got Glowforge stuff coming. I love my Plus membership. Yay, I'm so excited for you. Loving the Plus membership, Victoria. I'm so excited. Hashtag Ducks, Plus membership. Yay, yay, yay. I'm so excited. I'm seeing these Plus members. So, number one, if you guys are a Plus member, because we've been getting a lot of questions like last week, I think we've missed some about the Plus member is, you know, you're going to get a percentage. Like I said, you're going to get, I believe it's 50 credits a month, depending on your tier of these Plus credits. And it's basically free files. You get a ton of freebies as well. Lots of different perks. You're going to get extra access. So when we do the dollar deal, normally you only have an hour. I believe you get an extra 24 hours. So lots of different perks with that as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and keep on waiting. Let's see, hashtag Ducks. I love mine too. I'm so excited. I am so, so excited. Another question I have is, you know, it's a new year. Did you guys, I know I asked you guys this last time, but just in case you guys missed, are you guys new? Are you guys brand new to Cricut or Silhouette? I also want to know too, I know I do a lot of Cricut projects. That's just my machine of choice. I do own the Silhouette as well. And we try to not be biased here, obviously, and we go back and forth. But who all here is Silhouette users? You know, who's Silhouette? Who is Cricut? Let me know in the comments. Type out Cricut or Silhouette. That's another thing I'd love to know. I just ordered my maker. Yay, I'm so excited. What's Dux? Dux is, if you want to try to win this file today, we are giving away this file to one lucky winner. All you have to do to enter is put in the comments hashtag Dux, and it's automatically going to enter you to win. So as soon as we're done with this live, if you're live, we're going to draw a lucky winner, and all you're going to do is email us, and you can be making this file today. Now, with this file, you don't just have to do the screen print. This is just ideas. I like to try to give you guys inspiration for more projects, but you could do this with HTV. You could sublimate this if you wanted to. This could go on a coffee mug, keychains, whatever you wanted to do. You can make a sign out of this thing. So this is just to show you guys and give you some more inspiration. Let's see, Cricut Air 2 and Joy. Robin, yay. So you have both of those. I think that's something I've talked about for a while. I think the Cricut Air 2 and the Cricut Joy go hand in hand. Such a perfect combo. Cricut only. So I'm seeing a lot of Cricut silhouettes. Hashtag Dux says Silhouette, new to Cricut, Cricut. All right, so I'm seeing some Cricut here because I want to make sure I'm not leaving you guys out. So I want to make sure if we got Silhouette guys that I am covering you guys too. Let's see, Cricut. Okay, and also, as you guys are letting me know, if you're a Silhouette, do you have the Plus member? Not the Plus member. Do you have the basic, or have you guys upgraded? So drop it down below. Let me know, basic or upgraded, because I'm trying to show you guys some tutorials with basic just to show you don't have to upgrade. So for example, with Silhouette, bear with me guys, I got some little pieces trying to hang back here. With the Silhouette, I know that, like, say for example, to get you guys to upgrade, they took away the SVG, but you don't have to have an SVG. You can use a DXF file. You can use JPEGs and PNGs and things. So lots of different ways around it. So I'm trying to do tutorials on that to show you guys as well. Hashtag Cricut, Silhouette, and Plus member. Sweet. All right. And I almost feel like it's time for Silhouette to be releasing a new machine. I feel that coming because it feels like it's been a hot minute. Nothing wrong with, obviously, their newer model, but it just feels like it should be coming soon enough. Let's see, Maker. I may lose this little piece over here, and that's going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and lose that. You guys just remember there's a piece there. I'm just going to let it go so that way we're not wasting a whole bunch of time on that teensy little piece. There we go. So I'm going to back this out. I'm curious. Let's see. I love having the Joy and the Maker, best of both worlds for sure. That's something that I talk about all the time. It is okay to own, more than one or two in Maker, because you can run both of them. You can have them in separate rooms, one in the craft room. So for example, where I have a separate craft space, I've got one in the house, one in the studio. I love the Cricut. I think the Cricut Joy is something amazing because if you guys have been fans of Cricut for years, when they had their small Cricut years ago, when they first created them, it was perfect. When I used to teach, teach preschool. I had it for my bulletin boards and things like that. And it was so easy to carry around. So the Cricut Joy is so perfect for like a teacher, to take to craft events and things like that, to do stuff on the spot. Now, hopefully I'll be able to weed through these little pieces. I may, like I said, I'm going to, for the sake of the video, I may lose a little bit of these small ones. I'm not going to hang up on them too long just because I'm live. If I wasn't live, I would definitely be hanging back for these pieces. So just bear with me on that. Upgraded. Okay. Gifted myself the Cricut Maker for Christmas. Yay. I'm so excited for you. I love to see that you guys are taking care of yourselves and in your craft needs. Because, us girls, we got to stick together here, right? And boys, I know there's a lot of you guys crafting out there as well. Let's see. Hi, everyone. Just getting here. What are we doing today? Okay. Today we are doing screen printing. So we have reversed our adhesive vinyl. So I've taught you everything I've taught you about adhesive vinyl. We've swapped it around. So we've reversed our adhesive vinyl, and we're going to do a DIY screen print with some ink and a screen. Upgraded. I really want to try this. Do you own the screen printing? Do you own screen? No, I do not. So that is something that I've wanted to get into for years, is screen printing. I love it. But at the same time, if you guys are like me, I don't want to purchase and spend thousands of dollars into the screen printing, just to play with it a little bit. Now, if you guys were obviously getting into a business, you may want to go a little bit further. Something that I've looked at for on Amazon is the smaller ones, the one presses, and something like this would probably be good if you wanted to do a few of your screen print t-shirts as well. Or even like the icon art along with that, to have those screens that you can just wash out and keep together. Because the difference between the icon art and this DIY technique is you are going to be able to rinse those screens and use them over and over again. So that is something to keep in mind. But once again, I will be doing tutorials on that one very soon. Hashtag ducks, keep those hashtag ducks going. And if you guys are just joining us, we are saying hashtag duck because it's going to enter you for a chance to win this file today. So we are going to be doing a giveaway at the end. We are almost here, guys. So I've got a few more pieces to weed out. So once again, when you guys are weeding this out for your DIY screen print, you guys are weeding the exact opposite than what you normally would be doing. So that's the thing that you guys want to keep in mind. So you want to mirror and you want to weed out the pieces that you would normally keep. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to save this one little piece here. Trying to save what I can just to kind of really show you guys. But like I said, if I'm losing them, I'm letting them go. Let me grab this piece here. Okay, there we go. Save that one. I don't have a whole lot of small pieces left, so it's not too bad. Get down here really quick. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see. I have designer edition. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I just learned what reversed weeding is. Yes, reverse weeding is amazing. All right, so let me go ahead and grab this one, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab this. All right, so we are ready. So once you get to this point, we've went through everything. I think I've got everybody. I've got one piece here. I almost forgot behind. Here we go. Hashtag duck snow day. Oh, I know. I've seen that a lot of you guys are getting snow. That is amazing. It looks gorgeous. Okay, so here is our file. So this is the design we're using today. Obviously is reversed because you need to reverse it for this project. And I'm going to show you why here in just a second. So here's our design. Now, I don't want to trim too close yet because what I need is when you have this design is you need this border around here because we're going to need that for protection. Another thing is, I don't know if I showed you, we need painter's tape. So if I need to block off anything on the screen, I've got painter's tape. I normally use the purple one because it just removes super easy, but this is what I have today. So let's see, got to do more lives. Yes, for sure. And I'm really trying to push, especially because in March, you guys know that it is crafting month. So I'm really hoping we can really dive in a bunch. So hopefully we can do tons more lives this year. Let me get this out of our way for a sec. I'm trying to think of what I'm doing. Okay, we're picking this up. I think. All right, so next step is before I actually trim this down, which I bet I could trim it down. So hold on. Y'all bear with me. I'm going to flip this over so I can figure out about how much I need to trim off of this really quick so I don't waste so much of the transfer tape. So what we're doing here, so you guys see these lines, so you guys see where we're working right here. I can at least go past this. So to this level here, hopefully you guys can see this and it's not too washed out. So I'm going to go ahead and trim there. So to make my marks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to start to cut these like this on this side, straighten this guy back up. And actually, because I'm going to kind of center this a little bit more, I think I need to, I'm going to do this as well as this. So that way you just kind of know where I need to cut. Just giving myself a rough cut. I could take my paper trimmer or I could simply take my scissors here. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we can trim away the excess. Oh, hold on. I'm on this side. It's so funny because if I ever have to cut in this direction, it feels so left-handed. It feels like it's wrong because I should be flipping it over and cutting over here. But I was trying to follow that line. But anybody else, like I can't cut like that. It's terrible. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get this out of the way, and then we're gonna line this up here really quick. So it looks pretty good. So what I need to do is when I get this on the screen here in a minute, is we're gonna make sure this is pretty even because when I place it down on my t-shirt, I've got to know that this is gonna be pretty even on that t-shirt. Okay, it's right in the center. All right, so next step here, we're ready to go on our screen. Now I want you to notice, right? I want you to notice that we are going to put this on the back side of the screen. So when we place this in a minute, I have my screen flipped upside down. We're going to place it on this side. So this side where it's caved in, you don't want to place it on this side. You want it on the back side, okay? Oop, I placed that on top of that. Get that out of my way. Here we go. So the very next step is we want to pick this up with transfer tape. So I've got my transfer tape here. We're going to unwind this a little bit and pick this up. You can use contact paper from the Dollar Tree, whatever you have. Okay, so I'm going to use this one here. And I wonder if it would be wise. I think so. Really, you're just needing to cover wherever your design is. I don't need to cover the whole thing. I just need to cover wherever my design is. Because basically, I need to pick up all these pieces that aren't attached. Okay. So now we're going to cut this down. We're going to trim it. Just like so. Okay. There we go. And we are going to grab our squeegee here and we're going to go ahead and start to pick this up. So I'm just going all over. I don't have to worry about getting all the way down. I really just need to focus in on all of these little pieces because we need to pick those up. So this is going to help us transfer it to our screen. So I'm going to go ahead and just rub and try to get this picked up. It's so funny whenever you work with a piece of vinyl and you mirror it, it feels wrong. It feels like I've made a huge mistake. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and keep rubbing this in. There we go. All right, so I think I've got everything. It should be able to just pick everything up. So let's go ahead and try it. So what I'm going to do here, so normally obviously would pick it over, would be here. So I'm actually on this corner, so it has nothing, but that's okay. So we're going to flip it over and we are going to get this. What I usually do is just kind of pinch a corner just to kind of get it started like that. And then I'm going to peel. So I'm just going to kind of lay flat and peel. Anything tries to come up with me, we're going to go back for it. There we go. I think I got one more piece trying to run away. And I think that's it. Here we go. Here's our design. So it is attached to our transfer tape. We're going to flip this guy upside down. Here we go. Hopefully this is not washing out too much. I have to bring the black in. So that way it's not washing out. So we're going to go down like a taco, like we normally do. You guys know my hashtag tacos. And I had you guys going wild last week with my y'all's hashtag tacos. I absolutely loved it. So now what I want to do is I want to get this down on here. I'm trying to stay nice and straight and centered. So that way, whenever I go to put this down, it's going to be on the, and I'm going to know it's on the center of my t-shirt. Okay. So here we go. So now I've got that kind of laid down, smoothing everything out. I'm going to flip it over and I am going to rub it in. So from this side, see, now it's correct, right? So we can see it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our little squeegee and you can tell where you've went because it's going to change that color. So I'm going to go ahead and start to rub everything down. So before we take that transfer, I'm going to go ahead and start to now transfer this to the screen. So you guys see it coming together. Isn't it cool? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rub this down. Just like so. I don't have to worry so much around those edges that I can't get to that I've got up on because it'll come off here in just a sec. All right, so just making sure we kind of really get into these little pieces to make sure they're going to stay on here for us. So the reason why we want this on the opposite side is because when I go to put the ink and I put this on the t-shirt and I go to rub this down, if this was on the opposite side, it would pick these off. So if we were scraping from this side, it would want to scrape those pieces off. So it's just going to make it so easy and rub across the screen like a dream, right? All right, so we've got that. So now what we need to do is flip this guy back over, get us our corner going, and being very careful because I don't want to push down hard on my screen. I'm going to get one of these. Let me get this transfer tape going. I've got it down too good, so let me try to get it released. Here we go. Got a corner. So I'm not poking down because I don't want to create a hole. If you got a hole, it's going to come through to your t-shirt. So we're going to get in an angle like we normally do. And very slowly, we're going to start to peel this guy off. If anything tries to come up once again, you're just going to go backwards. How cool is this? Isn't this amazing? And once again, I mean, a piece of vinyl, you really get it for like 30 cents or something, especially if, say, for example, 143 Vinyl is having their overstock sale and it's colors that you don't want, but you're literally getting it for 20 cents or something. I mean, stock up on it. It's perfect for this stuff. That is my motto. I love it, Kathy. All right, so I think I got everything. Nothing came off, but you guys can see how gorgeous this looks. So now what we want to do is I want to make sure if there's any open screen. So I have a little line up here and I have this little line down here. This is where that painter tape comes in, right? We're going to take our tape here and I want to cover those because if not, that's going to get on our t-shirt. So we don't want to do that. Hashtag ducks, I did print using, hold on one second, emulsion for years. I love this method. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Victoria. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. Let's see, from Canada is your, let's see, brilliant say, hashtag ducks is such a brilliant, I love it. I'm telling you, we actually have such an amazing crew that, gets these videos prepped up in the background that you guys, I mean, I know that you guys see my face, but there is an entire crew, that really works on this. So there's actually an amazing couple that I work with, and they're the ones running this live right now. And they are just the sweetest, and they are so smart and talented to get everything together for us. So there's a lot of work that goes in the background. Hopefully I did not just mess this up. There is a lot of work that goes in the background for these lives, and I'm just so grateful and blessed for everybody. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up. So we're going to get this down. So while I'm prepping this, don't forget, use those hashtag ducks for a chance to win. So if you guys have not entered to win, you just have to type down in the comments hashtag ducks for a chance to win this file at the very end. All right, so we're just going to smooth that down. I'm going to trim off this excess just like that. Once again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to make sure my screen is covered. And then I've got a little bitty piece up here that I wanted to cover as well. Now I can come up on this black. It's no big deal. Okay, so that's no big deal. And I'm actually, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get this like this, just double checking. 1 second here. What are you doing today? What I'm doing is we are doing a DIY screen print. So what we're using is adhesive vinyl along with a screen. This is a screen from Speedball along with this ink right here. So this is screen print. So if you ever purchase those t-shirts that have texture, a lot of times it's like, you know, especially if you are a football fan or, you know, baseball, softball, a lot of those t-shirts are made with screen print. So this is a way to, so you don't have to invest thousands of dollars into a big old press or, you know, the screens and all of that kind of stuff. This allows you to still get that. And like I said, it's like 37 cents a sheet. So it's not bad. It is a process, but if you want to pull it off and you want to do this, you can do it. So there we go. We've got everything is covered. If I had some down on the sides, I would want to do it too. Almost missed the live. I was outside cleaning the snow off the truck. Well, I am so excited that you were able to join us. And I really hope that you are enjoying that snow. Anybody that has snow, I'm super jealous. And I really hope that you guys are enjoying it today. Enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy the new year. I love how you explain clearly. Oh, thank you so much. I have my Speedball supplies. Just got to give it a try. I really hope you do, Mary. You would have so much fun. And it's not bad. And this, like I said, hot water, it's going to come right off. Spray this guy down. It will peel. There's no tugging. It will literally come off. It's amazing. Totally want to try this. Now, like I said, this is live. So I have no idea which way this is going to go. It could be a hot mess because I've never done this live. And you know, when you're live, it's like your adrenaline's high and there's just no telling. So bear with me. So we've got our screen here. So we're going to set this aside. This guy is ready. Look at how amazing this looks. Super cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my old Cricut mat, right? So you can take these because you can wash them off. Even if it's not old, okay, you can wash them. Once again, I have my exposure high, so it's trying to wash out on me. So bear with me. All right, so I'm going to take my t-shirt here. And what I'm going to do here is we are going to take this and place it right inside of our t-shirt. This is going to help hold our t-shirt still. So I want to get it right about here inside the t-shirt. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. So y'all bear with me just a minute while I get this guy in there, because it's going to want to stick everywhere. So let me just try to get this guy in here. I got to separate where my t-shirt. It's like a lot of static clean going on here. All right. So what we can do is kind of get it like this for a second. And we're going to get this in here. So this is going to help. I showed this a while back. Like this is just a cool. I think I may have showed this on the last one we did. It's just such a great tip to kind of help give some stability for your t-shirt. And it's going to help stick the t-shirt to it to hold it still. So that way there's no stretching and all that kind of fun stuff. So y'all bear with me so I can adjust all of this stuff. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just making sure it's underneath the area where I'm going. So I want to make sure, hold on one second. Where is that? Make sure that hole is not going to bother me. You know where the hole that, right here. Okay, perfect. And I think it's on there good enough. I think we're good. So I'm just going to smooth everything out. So y'all bear with me, like I said. And one more piece right there. I think we can smooth everything out now. So this is, like I said, I'm not stretching my t-shirt. This is going to be super smooth. Nothing like sunshine. Oh my gosh, I know it. To me, I've always loved the cold weather because, you know, you can just bundle up and bundle up. But when you're super hot, can I do that? Let's see. haven't never thought of using the old Cricut mat for holding down the shirts. It's amazing. So I try to really find uses for our old mats. So that way we're using them for other things and it's perfect. I mean, you can use them to paint on all kinds of stuff, but it really does help for these kind of projects with your t-shirts. So I've got everything down. I think it's going to be good. So I'm just going to make sure my screen is going to go on here and my mat's underneath. So I think that's fine. So what you're going to do next is we're going to line this up. So just like before, I want to make sure it's around 3 or 4 fingers down. So that's one thing you're going to have to eyeball and make sure, because you could find yourself way down here, because look at how far I am from my neckline, because I'm getting this up here. So you don't want to pay attention to the top of this. You want to pay attention to the top of your design. So you could always get this up here and really kind of get your fingers up there to say, okay, I need to go up just a little bit more, something like that. Now, once again, if you guys are just joining us, when you're done with this, it's not done until you heat seal it, but you can definitely use a home iron. You can use your Cricut Easy Press, and you can also use those little mini presses as well. You can use a big heat press. So once this dries down, which you can hover your heat press over it, your iron, whatever you want to do to dry that early, and then you want to press it for 370 to 375 for 10 to 12 seconds. I'm not going to do that today just because it needs to dry down. So, but you guys will definitely know it's going to be so easy to do that. All right, so we've got everything lined up. We're ready. So our next thing is just making sure everything's nice and straight. We're going to take our ink here. So what I'm going to do for my ink, and then I've got this ready to go. Now, if you guys are doing this in your craft space like me, I don't have a sink by me, and I'm probably going to get ink everywhere. What I love to carry in my craft space, you guys probably already do it, but I love to carry baby wipes because they're easy to wipe, if I need to wipe this guy off. Another thing is, before I get started, let me get some scrap paper. Or, hold on one second. Let me grab a parchment paper. So hopefully I'm not wiggling that camera up there. All right, here we go. So y'all bear with me. I like to get a piece of parchment, so I think y'all can see it over here. Parchment paper, copy paper, whatever it is. Get it over here, because that way you have something, because this is going to be covered in ink. You want somewhere to stick it. So that's going to allow you to put your ink there and all of those things. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and take my speedball paint here. And you can stir this up really quick. Let's see if I can even open it. Wouldn't that be crazy if I couldn't even open it? You know how when you open your paint, sometimes it likes to seal like glue? I was like, that's what happened to me. So what you can do here is you want to kind of stir it up a little bit. And I was wishing I had something different to stir this, but I do not. So I'm going to try to work with what I have. So what you can do is just kind of stir that up just a little bit. There's lots of colors too. And another thing to think about, if you have, say, for example, you have the white and you get a red and stuff, you can mix colors too to make pink and purple and all that stuff. So get you a couple colors, get those going. So what we need to do here is get our ink. We're going to go across the top. So you really want to kind of get quite a bit on there, because you can put it back in here. So see how I'm going right up here at the top, and I want to go all the way like this, because I need to cover, and I may have to go over a few different swipes. So I just want to make sure I have enough on here. I'm going to get some here, and then some on this other end here. And then everybody, cross your fingers for me, because like I said, we're live. There's no telling which way this is going to go. So here we go. So what we're going to do now is you want to kind of hold this nice and tight, but our mat is going to help us too. So I can kind of hold here, and then I'm going to get my squeegee right up here at the top, and we're going to pull out an angle. So you're not pulling straight up and down. We kind of have an angle like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy down, and now I'm going to press. So I'm pressing nice and firm to get this to go in there all the way down. And then we'll go over it another time. And you can kind of tell if you're missing something. And then I'm going to go, let's see if I can go one more time. I feel like I'm missing a piece here. So normally I would not go backwards like this, but I've got a piece down here that is not wanting to go. There we go. Normally I go one direction, but I had a piece right in here that wasn't wanting to go down. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to take off my excess, right? So we can actually put this back inside the container. So I kind of get it at an angle and start to scrape that stuff back in there, just like that. So I can go over here once again, pick up this stuff, drop it back down in here. Go back one more time, pick up this side, and we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back. So remember, all that ink can go back in there. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pull straight up. So on this one end, you guys see where my hand is? I'm going to grab and pull straight up this way. I'm holding my t-shirt down. Holding my t-shirt down, we're going to pull it up. Boom. Just like that. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside so you guys can see this here. So what I can do is I can go to the sink. If this still looks good, you can keep going. Shirt after shirt after shirt. Just be careful when you set this on your t-shirt. Just keep on going. But you can go to the sink, start spraying this out. Once you start spraying from this side here, all of that adhesive is going to release and wash out. You really want to wash this out pretty quickly so that way it doesn't dry into it. So the next thing that you guys would do is you're going to dry this down, like I said. And so you want to be careful because I've got my Cricut mat underneath here. So I would not want to dry this with that pad. So I would definitely hover above it with the ink and then we would seal it. So if we actually have a few more minutes, let's see, I think we got a couple minutes. Let me pull my Cricut Easy Press out and I'll try to just seal it for y'all. So that way y'all can see it real quick. So y'all bear with me. I hope you guys love this. Isn't it cute? So I don't have my ducks in a row. I have squirrels and they are everywhere. I thought it was so, so cute, but lots of different designs. You could take any of our SVG files and you can do this. Now, remember, I do have a video coming soon and I'm going to show y'all how to do multiple layers. And basically what we're going to be doing is creating a mark. Basically, we're going to have like some circles and we're just going to line those circles up every time, but we're going to have tape down for those circles. And then that way the ink is going on those circles and that's how we're going to line it up every time. All right, so you guys seen I was able to just clean my fingers with some baby wipes. So if you guys want to, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way and get my Cricut Easy Press up here and we'll try to attempt to press it. So y'all give me 1 second. And in the meantime, you guys let me know, what do you think of this design? What do you think? Do you think it's easy? Do you guys think you guys can pull this off? Let me know. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Now, remember, once you have your screens, if you take care of them and wash them really good, you guys are going to be able to use them over and over and over again. So, you'll bear with me. I'm going to get my Cricut Easy Press up here and get it heating up. So it won't take but a second. All right. And let me get a new parchment. Try not to move my camera. I'm trying to be very careful. Let me get my Cricut pad. All right. So what I have here is, it's going to, think of this just like when we're working with HTV or sublimation mostly. Let me get this out of the way. So let's get our Cricut. Let's start here first before I get crazy. Let me get our Cricut Easy Press. So the Cricut Easy Press, we wanted it at 375. So I'm going to turn this guy on and I'm going to get it at 375 so you guys can see. Let me drop this down and it don't take no time to heat up. So y'all bear with me. And then we'll get it at, I'm going to do 15 seconds just because I'm using the Cricut Easy Press. So 15 seconds, 375 is what I'm setting. Now, if you were using your big heat press, you could probably get away with 370. Just look up the heat temp, your heat, and your time for screen print. All right, so here we go. I can see you guys are loving this. I'm really excited that you guys do love this. It is so, so easy to do. And once again, you have like 30 cents in vinyl. A lot of times 10, 15 cents, depending, you know, if you've got, like I said, different colors in your mystery box and you don't know what to do with that purple or that red or that gray, use it for this stuff. Crystal, you did so easy. Oh, thank you so much. I might need to use gloves. Now, listen, I have got ink on me multiple times, but it just really helps to keep those baby wipes in your craft space. Now, once again, you can see, pay attention before y'all do this, where you are on your neck tag, because you can end way down here because you're paying attention to the top of that screen. While that's heating up, we need to dry this. So that's the first thing we're going to do before we actually press it. But a few things you're going to need is parchment paper, because the parchment paper is going to protect between this and your Cricut Easy Press or press. And then I have the Cricut pad. Okay. So while the mat is still underneath here, I'm going to hover above this to dry it. But before I actually press it, I'm going to remove that Cricut pad because we don't want that adhesive to end up sticking to our t-shirt, right? And this shirt will last you wash after wash after wash. I've made many of these. Now, remember, like I said, when my sister-in-law started her construction business, we made hundreds of t-shirts we made doing the same method. So don't be afraid. Okay. So I think we're almost there. While this is heating up, at this point, we could go ahead and start hovering. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving about this much gap over my Cricut Easy Press. So I'm just hovering this right above. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay here for a while. So say for example, if you guys were actually in the screen print business, you would put it under the flash. I believe it's called a flash dryer. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And this is the same thing it's doing. There is a heat plate, or I don't know if it's heat blowing on it. But it's the same method. It's just drying it. So you're just going to go ahead. Yes, you could use cardboard as well. I know at like the hobby stores, they have those cardboard inserts. So yes, that's a great tip. You could definitely make your own cardboard. Tons of different ways you can do this. Something in between. Another thing I've used is like heavy chipboard. I've done that as well to really help. And also putting something in between the layers. You don't want that ink to go to the backside of your t-shirt. So no matter what, you do want to put something in between your layers, whether it's parchment paper, craft paper, anything, copy paper. So I do believe when me and my sister-in-law did it, that's all we bought those cardboard and that beep because it's ready. But I'm just hovering above once again. I'm going to let it dry. I'm just doing this for a couple minutes. And then we're going to get ready because I want to make sure before I try to press this thing that it is good and dry. So when me and my sister-in-law did them, so if you are going to be doing multiple t-shirts at one time, I highly recommend that you find a space. And you can hang them on a hanger and just hang them up. Just keep them separate. So make sure no t-shirt touches each other. You can lay them over the couches, lay them all over the kitchen table. And then whenever they're all dry, you can press them. And that's what we did. So you're not having to hover above, but it's simple as this. It will dry it pretty quick. Okay. So I could come in here. I could tell I have a little bit here. So let me hover above just a little bit more. And see. Before applying the ink, make sure that you remove the transfer tape. Don't ask me how I know. Oh my gosh, I love it so much, Robin. I had to write remove transfer tape on the bottom of the frame to remember. Hey, I think we all have to remind ourselves sometimes to do those things. So that is totally okay. Those flat chopping boards are great. Barriers. Hey, that's a great idea as well. I'm loving all of these tips and tricks, guys. Okay, so let's see here what we're going to do. Now, remember, use that hashtag Ducks if you guys want a chance to win this free file. We're going to pick a lucky winner at the very end. You are so welcome. We are so excited that you guys are joining us. So what I'm doing is you guys can see I have one hand in the t-shirt holding down the mat, and I'm very carefully pulling this t-shirt up. So I'm not stretching anything. I'm just kind of pulling, right? And then I'm going to hold my hand in and try to pull this out at the same time. So let me actually drop this down. You're just going to hold your t-shirt up and get that mat to drop out, right? So I got that mat to drop. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take my Cricut pad, get it underneath. If you were using a heat press, you would just pop it up on your heat press. So whichever way you want to do this, home iron. If you have your home iron, get it on your high cotton settings and do the same thing. You just want to heat seal it now. This is what's going to make it permanent. If you forget this step, it's going to wash off. So until you heat press this, it's not good to go. So we're going to cover this, and I think I need to press it 2 times. So 375 for 15 seconds. I'm going to get the top part, and you want to give it medium pressure. Think about it just like if you were doing sublimation, HTV, same thing. 375 for 15 seconds. So we're going to go ahead, and you may have to play around with it, with your Cricut Easy Press and things like that, and do a test t-shirt first, do some wash tests, and see if everything holds up before you do a ton of them. Love this. Thank you so much. Especially these are perfect for hoodies. I love screen print on hoodies. You could do some hoodies. You can do some pockets if you wanted to. Lots of different ideas to do with these. All right, so we're going to move that out of our way. And then I'm just going to kind of peel this off. You guys can see that go off there. That is kind of like how sublimation is. It's the same thing in screen print that I've seen when we did these, is it releases that same type of steam that you would see with screen print. And I think that's part of that method. And there you have it. It's done. T-shirt is over. We have screen printed our very own. We did a DIY. I was so nervous because doing something like this live, something's always got to be a mistake. So there you have it. Now, also, I did forget to say, and I'm hoping there's not an issue, because the inks are technically still wet, I usually like to put a piece of copy paper in between. So I did get a little bit of, so y'all learn from my mistakes, okay? So I did get a little bit, I'm gonna show y'all real quick, because I didn't put a piece of copy paper, I got this on the other side. So before you press this for that final press, when you remove your Cricut pad, put a piece of copy paper in between. So I did forget, we did do that. You could use the big blowout paper, parchment paper, whatever you want. Make sure there's something in between your layers before you press. But there you guys have it. I'm so glad that you guys are loving this. Once again, I was so nervous that this was not going to go perfect because we were live. I haven't seen anybody do this live before because this is crazy. Let me go ahead and switch you guys up here. So hopefully you guys can see how cool this is. But how amazing is this? Isn't it really cool? So we did our very own DIY screen print with our Cricut. You could do this with your Silhouette, whatever machine you have. If you have the bigger Graphtex, whatever it is, you can definitely do this with your vinyl. Definitely use your scraps, colors that you don't want. Or for example, like me, I purchased big rolls of the black and white. Another thing is to keep in mind the white, sometimes it's hard. So if you're using white ink and you're using white, I believe I showed that in the video, the tutorial that I did, white adhesive vinyl, it kind of blends out. So make sure you're picking stuff too that's going to pop off of the t-shirt. But there you guys have it. Once again, lots of different inks on the market. It's not just Speedball that you guys can do. There's metallics, glitters, lots of different stuff out there. So I highly recommend that you guys check it out. So let's go ahead and do a Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and answer a few questions. So if you guys have some questions, make sure you guys drop them below and I'm going to try to answer those. Meantime, I'm going to go ahead and shut this guy off and we will get ready to answer some questions here. So don't forget to use hashtag ducks. So if you guys want a chance to win this file right here, use hashtag ducks and we're going to pick a winner here in just a bit. All right, so let's see. Is the paint you're using softer than acrylic paint would be? Yes. So if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever, well, technically not, I think, because there is some texture to it. So if you've ever purchased a screen printer, it has some texture to it. Just kind of not sand. I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely more, I would say the texture of almost kind of like a glitter HTV, if you will. It does have a little bit of texture to it, which it'll obviously soften up a little bit when you wash it and things like that. So there you have it. Let's see. You're using the light grip. I have been using the wrong mat for years. The light grip I love. 90% of the time, whether it's projects like this, paper crafts, vinyl, HTV, I'm using light gripped 99.9% of the time. The only time I really use the green mat for anything, I use it obviously sometimes, but mostly I use that for things that need a little bit more stick, like glitter HTV. All right, let's see. Would heat transfer vinyl work after heat pressing the stencil to the screen, making it permanent if desired? Transfer work. Let's see. No, I don't think so, because when you apply the heat, I don't think it really will bond. We could definitely, well, I would think the heat would dry the, I think the heat would melt your screen, honestly, because the screen is almost like it's almost like a silk, if you will. So it'd probably burn it before and melt it before you could do anything. But definitely a good a tip, like something to try. Let's see. If I didn't win the file, can we buy this? What is it called? Yes, you can. We actually, I do believe we have this file linked down below. You can find it in the comments below. And I'll double check really quick. Let me just Google it just to make sure. Let me go look at my folder. I don't have it pulled up right now. And I'm just gonna, let's see. I'm on Google. Designbundles.net. Y'all bear with me. It is definitely Monday. And I'm shocked that this went smoothly because it's Monday. Y'all know that Mondays don't definitely do that. So let's go to Plus Membership. And I'm going to search for a product. I'm going to type in ducks and see if that pops a yes. And then give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. So y'all just give me 2 seconds. Let me stop this one. And let me share my new screen. So bear with me just a minute. And I'll show you guys really quickly at the same time. So here we go. So this is the file. So if you guys come over to your Plus membership, so if you guys are a Plus member, you can definitely type in right here at the top, Plus member, and then you'll go to where the files are, and you can just type this in. So it's I don't have ducks in a row SVG, but I do believe we have it down below, and this is what it looks like. I do believe that you can purchase this for $6, but if you're a Plus member, you get it for $1+ credit. So let me see if we just type this in at the top. Let's see if you guys can find it. So if I just searched for it, it will pop up. So even if you aren't a Plus member, I do believe that you can purchase it for $6. But if you're a Plus member, you can get it for $1+ credit. So this is a great file to have. So let me go ahead and switch my camera back really quick, and we'll go ahead and continue to finish answering all these. So hashtag ducks, what materials can you screen print on? I do believe screen print can, I mean, mostly it's cotton, but I do believe you can do some polyesters. But I want to say canvases, but mostly it's going to be your cotton materials. Let's see. Do we have any others? Let's see. I love the font used for squirrels. Is it on the site name of it? That's something I get questions on all of the time. But these are just files that are already made, so I'm not too sure what font is used in these. We could probably drop some down below for you guys afterwards, maybe in the comments. We'll see and give you guys some similar fonts that we have or the fonts that were used for this. But these are files that were already created, so it's just kind of hard to tell. All right, let's see. What lasts longer on the shirt? Screen print, vinyl, or sublimation? Sublimation. Sublimation basically becomes the t-shirt. So however long your t-shirt's going to last, that's how long it's going to last. It becomes one with the fabric. It basically just bonds together. It's magic. HTV is going to last, I think, last longer than screen print. Screen print will start to crackle over time. So I definitely do believe HTV lasts a little bit longer than screen print. Screen print, you ever have screen print and it starts to get that, which I love sometimes, it gives it that vintage effect. It starts to get that little crackling. So definitely sublimation, then you have HTV, and then you have screen print. Let's see. Have you done multicolor shirts? Yes, I have. So I'm going to be teaching you guys that very soon. And basically what we're going to be doing is we are going to be creating, I can't think of what it's called, but where we're basically going to be creating. So say, for example, you can do stars or you could do circles. And then we're going to put a piece of tape down on the t-shirt. And so whenever you print that, you're going to line those circles up every time from each layer. And whenever you put the ink down, that ink will go on the tape, so it's not going on the t-shirt. And that's how you can layer. So what you would do is you would have several screens. So say, for example, you get a kit, which I believe we have one down below. It may come with 3 screens. You could line up 3 different colors and be ready to go. Or maybe you get one color, you wash this one off, you add a new piece of adhesive vinyl, and then come back and you get the next layer. But you definitely want to dry in between. You don't need a heat press, but you at least want to dry between those layers. What are the care instructions for screen print? So you could definitely Google those to see what settings, but definitely I do believe with screen print, they usually recommend that you flip it inside out and then wash. I do believe maybe on a little colder settings, but I want to say with my screen print, I've always just tried to pop those inside out and wash as normal, and I throw them in the dryer as well. Now I do believe with screen print, if you don't dry them, they are going to last a little bit longer. So I do believe that was our last question. So let's get ready for a giveaway. All right, so let's go ahead and get everybody up here so I can see we had a lot of entries today. I'm so excited. Good luck to everybody. Let's go ahead and hit draw here. Let's pick a winner. So good luck to everybody. I'm so excited for you. And remember, you guys can start using this file today. And if you didn't win, you could definitely purchase it for 1+ credit. So congratulations. I cannot say your name, but congratulations. Definitely reach out to mail@designbundles.net and you can get this file already right away. If I can speak, it's definitely Monday. So mail@designbundles.net. Tell them that you won from our live today. And you guys can start playing with this file right away. Whether you want to do HTV, you want to make a t-shirt, you want to make a sign, or do this screen print. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm so excited that all of you guys joined us today. Once again, congratulations to the winner. But thank you guys all for joining us. We have so much fun. And if you guys are watching this in replay, let us know down below. What do you guys want to see us craft this year? Do you guys want to see us work with etching cream? We're going to be using the Glowforge. Is there some laser projects you guys want to see? Do you want to see some sewing stuff? Let me know. What do you guys want to see? And we will do that for you. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.